Three, two, one.
Everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was.
Zeitgeist Zealots. Hey everyone, welcome to Zeitgeist Zealots. I'm Forrest.
Major.
No, I'm Robbie.
We're a pop culture podcast, and today we're going to be discussing
What's up,
the
guys?
seventh episode of Halo Season 2. Lucky number 7. Not lucky for us, but it was the 7th episode, and
I enjoyed it.
It was okay. Anything's better than that 5th episode.
That's correct. That is correct. No, the sixth episode. Last episode was trash.
I mean, watching Crawdad's mate would be more.
It was a good
entertaining
start, and then
episode.
it started dropping, and then picked itself back up.
yeah.
We didn't see any child abuse, thankfully.
Well,
Luckily, Soren came in and disrupted the child abuse before it could occur.
we'll get into it a little bit more. That and the return of Invincible season 2, episode 5.
Oh, yeah.
Mid-season,
Very excited to talk about that. Yeah.
premiere. But first, let's get into some news. I know Robbie and I we've talked about this off air. Forrest, have you heard about what's happening with Google Gemini and their artificial intelligence image creations?
Yes, this is the first I've heard of
Yeah.
this. But
Yeah.
I've perused the interwebs, and apparently they're having difficulty replicating the image of white people.
Yeah, it's having a hard time whether you're asking for a Nazi, a Viking, or one of the founding fathers. It is very difficult to create a image of a white person. Google stock has tanked accordingly, and for good
Dang.
reason. A lot of people were wondering like what's going on and what was happening. Tell you what, people are smart and they are clever, and they did a lot of poking and prodding, and they figured out that whenever you're putting in a prompt to Google Gemini, something like create, show me images of what the founding fathers looked like, they would then take your prompt and they would add to your prompt, show me diverse images for the aforementioned question or prompt. And then that's why it wasn't showing any white people, because it was being told after you asked it to do something, it was being told to wokeify it.
Well, if
So
if
not
they asked for a
good.
picture of George, if you said like they didn't have any white founding fathers, if they asked for like a picture of George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, they probably just show the cast from Hamilton, right?
Yeah, they were very. The founding fathers were pretty black.
Yeah, as we found in that musical.
You know what's not probably going to be in the black though is James Gunn's Superman. Have you heard about this budget allegedly? Allegedly. Have you heard about
It's
this?
super large.
It's super.
Yeah,
I like it. I'll take the pun. Look in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's James Gunn's budget. So yeah. A
More
rumor.
expensive than a private island.
A rumor came out that it was $364 million, which actually is more than it cost to buy a private island. And James Gunn came out so snarky on X, and he was like, "Absolutely not!" Laughing face emoji with tears. How in the world do you think that they know what? How in the world do they think they know what our budget is? Question mark.
Able to bankrupt a studio with a single check bounce.
Lots of snark in that tweet there. But the internet detective he brought the receipts in the form of tax forms. Apparently, James Gunn and
Dun, dun,
the
dun.
producer company in California applied for tax credits, and the proposed budget on the tax credits was $364 million.
Accountants keep track of everything. You can't argue with an accountant. They have documentation to back up everything they say.
So that's either one, tax fraud going on here, or two, that is what their budget's looking like right now before reshoots and everything else. So what you're really looking at here is you're going to need 800, 900, $1 billion return just to break even on your first superhero movie. How is this entire franchise not dead in the water?
I don't think a superhero movie has broke $1 billion since Endgame. Am I wrong? Can someone double check that?
It has.
I mean,
Yeah,
Guardians
it
of the
has been
Galaxy
a little
3 made
downhill
like
since
800
then.
million.
Aquaman
think.
2? No,
No,
Aquaman
that
1.
made, like, less
Aquaman,
than that-
sorry,
yeah.
Aquaman 1 made $1 billion, surprisingly.
But that was before Endgame, though.
Was that before Endgame?
Oh,
I couldn't
did?
remember.
Yeah. I don't think a superhero movie has made over $1 billion since Endgame. Oh, wait, I think Spider-Man No Way Home. That came out like 2021, 22. But that was freaking Spider-Man. And let's not even like
Yeah.
was it draw hairs here, split hairs here. Spider-Man is way more popular than Superman. So
toy sales wise, yes.
I think like merchandise wise, popularity. I mean, look at the comic sales. Spider-Man is always at at the top with Batman.
I know.
Superman
I just don't like it.
Like if Superman has like a good writer, maybe he'll be in the top 10. But
I'll tell you this:
every Superman is way more popular.
I just asked Grok. The last superhero movie to break $1 billion was Spider-Man: No Way Home.
What year did that come out?
2021.
Nice.
What year did that come out?
2021.
2021.
Oh, okay. I probably should have been listening after I asked that question.
Yeah, I would suppose that every Superman fan could beat up every Spider-Man fan. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Well, I mean, this is going to be like packed with like what the Justice Society, the Authority, the Justice League. So I mean, they're really like DC is like literally like throwing because either this resurrects the DC interest in DC films, superhero films. This and Fantastic Four, I think, as well. Well, I guess Deadpool and Wolverine we'll see this year. I mean, if that tanks, then yeah, that's pretty much the beginning of the end. But like but that was like a established franchise. Like Fantastic Four and Superman are trying to like reignite. One's trying to reignite the MCU. One's trying to reignite DC property interest. So I mean, if those tank, then yeah, the superhero movie's just dead.
Let me ask this, Robbie. Can you put your tinfoil hat on for a second for me? Because I want you to follow along. Where did James Gunn come from? What company did he used to work for? Disney.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then he went to go work for a competitor. And then right out of the gate, what if he purposely tanks DC and then comes back to Marvel? And then Disney gives him like, $500 million re-signing bonus or something like that.
Yeah,
like, what if
the
all
long con.
along? Yeah, what if this all along this is just like to take out the enemy? Like, hey, we're going to go through a phase of making bad Marvel movies on purpose. Check out my conspiracy theory on a previous episode about that. But in the meantime, to make sure we have competitive advantage, we also need to make sure our competitors do bad. So we'll just send over some of our guys. Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll fire this guy over some 12-year-old tweets. And then maybe this is great writing. Hey, if they can string together 22 Marvel movies to make Endgame, then they can probably string together in the writers' room this storyline. Maybe James Gunn will be back before 2030.
Yeah, I was a little distracted there because I was asking it like the ones before Spider-Man No Way Home, and it came up with Endgame 2019, Infinity War 2018.
Yeah, but
the Fate of the Furious 2017.
No Way Home. That's not a superhero movie. I mean, I'm sure Vin Diesel thinks it's a superhero.
You know what breaks my heart is that my kids are going to look at me when I'm talking about superhero movies like I looked at my dad when he talked about cowboy movies. When he was like, you missed it. You missed the era of like Real Men and John Wayne and the good, the bad, the ugly. And it's like, you missed it way back when superheroes were men.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if like Gen Z like appropriated Westerns just to like rebel against their parents who all love superhero movies? So Westerns come back into fashion because they're just trying to like piss off their parents. Because our generation hates Westerns.
I can see that.
Because we hate the previous generation. It'd be funny. Maybe like steampunk, flash mob musical Westerns.
I think
become the new dominant genre.
I mean, you're about 3 years away from being able to type that
every
into
generation
AI.
that's ever existed. Yeah.
No, I think if they wanted to piss off their parents, millennials, they would just revert everything back into black and white.
Well, the movie theater
that's for sure how to make me not watch a movie.
And put them in subtitles.
Unless Zack Snyder does
silent
it.
black and white movies.
Asshole.
That will absolutely piss off their parents.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, from new data, well, I don't say like new data, like I know what I'm talking about, but I saw like an article, like the movie theater as an institution is still dying, even though like movies like Oppenheimer and like Barbie like resurged interest in the theater. Like there's more just like putting a band-aid on cancer. They're just like tickets are still too expensive. Not enough people are still going. People are like maybe going like the movies like 5 times a year to see these big blockbusters.
Have no fear because the American Association of Magical Negroes are here. Except they only are making about $1 million in the box office over the weekend,
I think
so maybe
that movie
not.
had like a 2.7 on
Oh,
IMDb.
today.
Not bueno, that's for sure.
I don't even want to like think about it.
No, but you know what you do want to think about? Marvel.
Halo? Oh,
No,
okay.
X-Men. More about X-Men coming out this week, guys. If you
Oh
wanna,
yeah. I'm
if
glad
you're
we got this
interested in
episode out
X-Men
before.
'97, yeah, absolutely. We got to talk about this. One of the head writers, the creator, Bo
The showrunner.
DeMayo, yeah,
The showrunner, which is
fired a week before the
French
premiere.
for Beau DeMayo, which is French for boyfriend mayonnaise.
Yeah, that was funny the
Oh,
first
so
first time,
I
and
got
funny the third
What
time.
first time, Major?
I got the
It's all fresh.
weekend numbers for
All
that
right,
movie.
yeah, hit me up.
Made what 1.3 million.
I was like billion. I was like, whoa, way
I
to
almost
show
said
up.
billion.
I was like,
That would be
It made more
insane.
than in-game.
1.3 million.
I was like, I was about to change my entire ideology. I was like, oh, hello,
Oh, that was
ESG.
I
really
am in the
close.
wrong.
BlackRock just buys like 1 billion tickets over the weekend.
Yeah.
So 1.3 million. Yeah. So
Yeah.
hit estimates. Thanks for looking that up. I appreciate it.
So yeah, Beau DeMayo was fired for unsettling and creepy activity on his OnlyFans account. I think was the primary motivator for him being let go.
Which is weird because why aren't there more details about that? Because like it's his OnlyFans. I mean, I guess he's signed a morality clause. I'm sure everyone did with Disney. But
Was
like,
Bob Iger one of his fans?
how did you even
How did he see
know?
that?
How did you even get away with having OnlyFans and being a creator in Disney?
But you know, someone at Disney had to subscribe to him to see what exactly he was posting in order to fire him. That's
Nah,
what's hilarious.
someone can tweet at him. Someone
do
had
you
to
mean?
subscribe to him and then took a screenshot
Yeah, exactly.
and then
Like
tweeted.
someone like who worked at Disney had to actually subscribe to see.
No. See, this is
what
the
he was doing.
power. This is the power of X. Are you on X first?
So you guys
I
tell
know,
it is.
I know, I know we are, but you're not. So let me tell you about the power of X, formerly known as Twitter. Right? You can be watching his OnlyFans, take a screenshot, and then go on the World Wide Web, go to X, post that screenshot, and then tag Disney, tag him, tag his mom, tag his high school, and then everyone fucking knows about it because that's what happened to the internet. If you can tag everyone but Henry Cavill, who has the decency and the common sense not to be on X.
Yeah, I think Daniel Craig is off too, and Christopher Nolan. They're just like, yeah, that's just like a trap for me, like to get fired for doing nothing. That's basically what X is. But yeah, let's.
Well, Christopher Nolan made $100 million off of Oppenheimer, so I'd be surprised if you
movie
ever
blew
see
up.
him again.
movie blew
Get
up.
this guy out of here.
It nuked the competition. So yeah,
Halo.
good for him.
Yeah.
Halo
Thermopolis.
season 2, episode 7, Thermopylae.
The
Uh,
penultimate episode.
The penultimate episode. The
Overall
key-
thoughts?
The word of the day on Zeitgeist Zealots every day.
I
Penultimate.
do love penultimate.
So yeah, so this apparently these last 2 episodes have been like very loose adaptations of the book Ghosts of Onyx by the same dude who wrote the Fall of Reach book.
I mean, Rob and I read
And-
it 10 years ago.
Oh,
so
it was
sure,
a long
yeah,
time
yeah.
ago.
I read the
So-
synopsis on
Yeah, yeah,
Wikipedia.
Tails are fuzzy for me.
I read the synopsis on Wikipedia 2 days ago. So I'm the Ghost of Onyx expert here. But yeah, basically it's like Ackerson in the book creates these Spartan 3s, which are like these cheap knockoffs of Spartans. And they're basically just cannon fodder. They're basically
Right.
just like, they're just throwing them at the Covenant with the hope that like, basically like trying to impregnate a woman. They're just like throwing all these Spartan 3s.
They just
the
need
hope-
one.
One just needs to get to the egg, aka the Covenant
But
mothership.
hey, it makes sense.
And we're blowing
Forrest,
up.
you were absolutely right. A couple episodes ago when we were talking about the simulation, and after they installed the virus, after the
Which is very phallic
insemination,
looking.
right, and then all the Covenant were gone, and we were like, "Oh, it's a suicide mission," or they expected them to
It's
die.
like you
But
it's
win.
white.
because it all blows up. Now we know you were right, and I just wanted to say like, good job spoiling that. For me and all the listeners out there. By the way, listeners, thanks for being out there. We really, really appreciate it. Shout out to all the new ones, my Hell Divers and Spartans alike. We will unite over this last episode coming out next week. but we've got more coming with Invincible and X-Men, so make sure to subscribe for that.
I know. And then I think Fallout in April, so not much longer after that. I think when Invincible ends, that's when Fallout begins because Amazon has to keep those subscribers.
Amazon knows how to. Yo, did you notice there were ads in Invincible? Not happy about that. We'll get into it later.
I guess you got to pay the premium.
I was
Prime.
like, I pay for Prime. I was like, what am I doing?
Not
watching
enough.
Ads? I don't pay enough, I guess.
Bezos needs his scalp wax. It's not going to pay for itself.
Anyway.
I don't know.
Speaking of showrunners, what do you think about the overall episode? Forrest, it sounded like at the beginning you weren't impressed with the works of Wiener and Wolfkill this episode. Did you know that's the name of the showrunners are Wiener and Wolfkill? I'm not sure if we've mentioned that before.
Well, I mean, we finally got Master Chief in the last few minutes in the armor, but not his helmet because the showrunners hate the fans.
How hard would
you want him with his helmet on?
They're basically just teasing us at this point.
Yeah.
They should have made it like a post-credit scene. Just the end.
He keeps looking at that helmet.
Cuts his nose, and the camera cuts to black. It doesn't have like fully on. It's over his eyes.
He's about to put it on, and it just cuts to.
He reaches over. He's like, "I need a helmet."
No, he's about to put it on, and then Covenant punches it out of his hands. Like we've got to have that sword fight with the Elite, and then like he gets
oh my god, what's gonna happen? Hit. And then
they just
and doing some
don't like
research,
Master Chief and his helmet on.
And doing some research for this episode, I came across an old article where Kiki Wolfkill talks about how she wants to transform how people experience the Halo franchise. And I was just wondering, as we come
from enjoyment to non-enjoyment
to a close on 2 seasons, has she transformed how you enjoy the franchise? And this is a article from 2012, so 12 years ago. So put that in mind. Over the last 12 years, has Kiki Wolfkill helped transform the franchise for you?
I just try to look at it as
it's
a
about
multiverse.
Like when Halo Reach came out, right? And then after Reach came out,
this ain't the Halo universe we know.
It's not the Halo I grew up with.
Yeah, that was sort of the dead nail after Reach in terms of like storytelling with Halo franchise. I mean, I think the multiplayer in Halo 4 and 5, and I guess now Infinite is still passable. I think now they're realizing they need to bring back the stuff from the Bungie era, maps and weapons and game types. But it's like story-wise, after Halo Reach, that's when the franchise really ended creatively.
Let me ask you this, or let me tell you this. I think Halo can turn this around. I think this franchise could turn this around. I think she has transformed it in a negative way. But when I was writing these notes up, and I was thinking about a long-term vision for this. How do you save this franchise? And I was thinking, if you really gave it some time to breathe, 8 or 9 seasons, dude, this show could be epic. Like, we are finally...
Have a slow crawl up to it.
Yeah, it took forever. Like, this season 2 should have been season 1, I thought to myself. But then you needed season 1 to introduce who all these people are. So in reality, season 1 and 2 should really just probably be one longer season. This should just all be one
filler and
season.
Setup.
All one season called The Fall of
filler,
Reach.
just
not filler. Yeah, just setup and then execution for The Fall of Reach. And then, that's kind of like your episode 0 of the franchise, and then season 3. But think about this, guys, like, because we are bashing it, everyone hates it, whatever, blah blah blah. But don't tell me you won't fucking love it when Master Chief, played by Pablo Schreiber, when he steps onto Blood Gulch, when he gets on to Lockout, like, the nostalgia's gonna be real. We're getting to this
freak
Halo
out online and memes happening.
They have an opportunity. They probably will butcher this, right? But they still have an opportunity to nail this, to really do a good job.
I really hope they throw some hints at like maps you would know.
Yeah.
Maybe even just in the background, not even trying to point it out, something.
So I'm trying to think, what happens this episode? Ackerson.
Oh, well, we opened with John and McKee on Halo.
Yep. So they still got that thing going on.
Here's one of my questions. Maybe I missed this. How do they know that the
Halo
destroys? They're always talking about the Halo's going to destroy this.
It's been implanted in their mind.
Isn't it supposed to be brand new to them?
Yeah, they don't know what the
No.
Halo is. Like in the Halo games, when you get the Halo,
The
you didn't know
writers
it was going to
don't
be.
even know what
Well,
the Halo is. The writers don't even know what's going on because
Well,
the Halo
apparently-
doesn't destroy. The Halo destroys everything, Covenant and humankind. And she's like, if the Covenant get it, they'll
They're
destroy
not supposed
humankind.
to
If the
spoil
humans
that
get it,
yet.
yeah, but
But that is how the
they
Covenant
don't. The
thinks.
writers don't even know.
Because he finds out
No,
later
no,
after
no.
they've already got to Halo, right?
No, Forrest,
After
that is correct. The Covenant don't know. The prophets are wrong about this because they want to unleash the Halo because they think it'll kill.
they look at it as
the
their
humans.
weapon.
Yeah, but it's going to kill everyone. That's why Master Chief tries to stop them. That's why they're not doing it themselves. That's why they're still going through with the plan.
Yeah. Well,
But this priest,
I wouldn't be surprised. The priest.
this priest chases McKee, and Cortana distracts him, and then McKee kills him and calls it a blessing. And I was like, what a Clinton thing to say with her and her Hillary Clinton haircut.
I don't feel very blessed. I feel kind of dead.
And she goes and brands herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that was
She
Makes
she
sense. I don't
starts she
know.
starts stripping down. And I was like, oh, are we just gonna like let's just see
just her
everyone
shoulders.
shirtless?
They showed her shoulders.
Just her shoulders. No, it's like come on. Let's bring back the sex appeal. If you're taking away my Cortana, let's give us some McKee.
Yeah.
You know what they did give us
Or
instead
if it
though?
was like all the actor agreed to.
Just
shoulders
clavicle.
only.
That's all you get is clavicle. Officer Karen tries to arrest the Master Chief again.
And she fails a third time.
A third time, he refuses to come in, and then she tells her squad to open fire. Is this just like what we're up to now? It's just like, okay, well, if you're not going to come in, hey, everyone just shoot him. Fire at will. And then Kai punches her in the back of the head, which I've played enough Halo to know that is an assassination.
Yeah.
If a Spartan
Would be
punches you in the
would
back
be
of the
hilarious
head.
if the guy's voiceover is like assassinated.
Oh, I mean, once that clip's
would-
on YouTube, I'll definitely edit that in for sure.
Yeah. So I think then what happened? Master Chief runs into Ackerson, and Ackerson's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
And
Just
Master Chief's like, "You're gonna learn today."
Yeah, Ackerson just figured out that he was duped and like everything's going on and it's not good. Like he's like, oh shit, I messed up big time. And then Master Chief's just like, yeah, you fucking did.
And he just gets choked out for a little bit, which I thought was pretty tame, less than he deserved. But yeah. But Parangoski is sending all the Spartan 3s to blow up the thing, and
How
then I
evil!
think,
What a bitch.
yeah. Then I guess Perez and Master Chief have their moment. I guess Perez is Master Chief's new love interest this season, and he's like, "Did he get the coin back, or he was just like, good luck, I'm not going. You're probably gonna die. See ya."
I just want to see you one last time, let you know that I was alive, but yeah, you're all gonna die.
Yeah.
And it's
I'm
like
glad your
weird.
helmet was off so I could recognize you.
And I wonder, he just didn't want to see the other Spartans. Because, like, at first I was like, why wouldn't you want to see other Spartans? Like, isn't your whole point to make sure you know your existence is known? But then I was also like, he probably doesn't want to see them right before they all kill them. They all go on a suicide mission. Right? Like, that's going to be hard to be like, walk in and be like, you guys are about to be sentenced to your death. Right? He's going to cause a big old insubordination. So he's like, it's best if I don't go.
Do you think Kai's gonna die next episode? Because, like, when at the start of Halo, the first game, Master Chief's the last Spartan. And Vanek's gone,
allegedly.
Riz is retired, Soren's kind of not really a Spartan anymore. So yes, no. But I mean, they'll probably like pull like a Star Wars, where it's like, oh, you think Obi-Wan and Yoda the Last Jedi? Nope,
Yeah.
there's like 30 others that survived Order
Tons
66.
more Spartans. Yeah, they're just off planet. They're just doing their own thing.
They only faked their deaths.
Master
It's
Chief
like,
just
okay.
didn't know about it.
I guess there was no balance to the Force. There was no balance to the Covenant human warfare. So what happens in the episode? Oh yeah, he's like in the spaceship and he sees the halo, and it's like in his eyes, right? The reflection of the halo's in his eyes. And we're just like, we're so
and a
close
bunch of
to getting
Covenant
the...
ships.
Yeah, so
It's going to be a little bit tricky.
Let's talk about Miranda Keys and
Yeah,
Dr.
let's
Halsey.
Let's talk about the Forerunner in the room, guys. Whoa.
They found a
Yeah,
mummified
what was
Forerunner.
that on the ground there?
I did not think we were going to see one of those.
I'm pretty sure the original writers of Halo weren't expecting that either when they saw this
They
episode.
were like, whoa, Forerunner.
It's like supposed to be a mystery. You're not supposed to expose or like ruin the mystery between what the
Stop
Forerunners were.
exposing everything.
So
Yeah, we don't need to know
apparently,
everything.
they're like in this like underground pyramid, which might contain a city, but we'll get into that in a second. And there's an artifact, and if they move the artifact around,
They press
then
A, it'll open up the light bridge.
it'll
Pretty
open up
much.
the it'll open
Pretty
up the
much
light
like
bridge.
every Halo game. Press A, open up the light bridge. That's pretty much all Halo 4 was. Press A, open up a light bridge. Press A, open up a light bridge. Press A, go up an elevator. Then press A again to open up a light bridge. Yeah.
With enemies scattered in the middle.
With those robot dogs on your trail. So they found the Forerunner, and they crossed the light bridge and they crossed back just in time. Like she's just standing there,
Yeah,
and the light bridge is like turning off, and then she just like runs across.
And luckily,
just
it makes sure to give her time.
Just enough time. But before all that,
Yeah.
Halsey explains to Miranda about the DNA, how it's like linked with like human and Forerunner like DNA.
I think Human and Covenant, right?
I think human and Forerunner, not human and Covenant. I think it's not explicitly said, but it should be Forerunner, but it's not explicitly said.
I look very
half
humanoid.
Human, half Covenant.
And then Quan points out that Halsey took children. And I was like, you know what that reminds me of? The Nazis. The Nazis did a lot of experiments on children.
Also, the actual Spartans, they took children out of their homes too and trained them since 8 years old?
7 or 8, something like that. But they weren't abducted; they were sent off. Like the men were sent off to.
Well, they didn't have a choice.
Yeah,
but but they trained as soldiers as children, which I think is the parallel between the Spartan program of Halo and the Spartan program of 300 DC. So. Yeah, overall, I think this was, it was a setup episode. I think Parangosky or Kai's going to die. Halsey might die. Master Chief is going to live. I guess Master Chief has to get reunited with Cortana, and then McKee probably isn't going to die. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess we talked about Soren's storyline, like the children, his son, Kessler, was going through the Spartan initiation program, and Soren stopped him from getting the shit kicked out of him, beaten out of him with the nightsticks.
Yeah. Talk about helicopter parents, or for the Spartan universe, I guess you could call it the UH-144 Falcon parents. Am I right, guys?
Pelican parents.
That's just like a ship.
Or Hornet parents. Was it the Hornet, the helicopter in Halo?
No, the
Wasp.
The UH-144 Falcon. Is the helicopter in Halo. I'm sorry, do you think I just made up those numbers and letters? But
the helicopter in Halo is literally called the Wasp, right?
You can Google what is the helicopter in Halo, and it will come back UH-144
Wasp
Falcon.
It was that little ship.
Yeah,
it
had two propellers on it.
Yeah. But I guess Kessler will not be a Spartan.
Really,
like his hero, Master Chief.
It's a VTOL vehicle.
But at least his wife is happy to have. Well, his wife got abducted, so we're going to find out who's behind the new program. We already know it's Ackerson, but do you think someone else could be behind it? Probably just pieced off.
Probably just the Parangowski girl. VTOL is vertical takeoff and landing.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll see what happens next episode. This one was okay. Hopefully, I'm sure they have something good set up, because they reduced the number of episodes from 9 to 8 this season. So we shall see. But let's move on to Invincible. This was a great second half of season 2 opener.
What a return to form. Now, Forrest, last time we talked about this, we had talked about whether it's better to have loved than lost, or never to have loved at all. And with that, I mean having a mid-season, right? Was it better to get half of this season in 2023, and then we had to wait a couple months to get the second half of the season, or if it was better to just get it all
if they
at
needed to
once?
Finish up some stuff,
right? And I would
prefer they have just waited and released all 8 episodes at the same time, because now when the 4th episode comes out, we're just gonna be like, oh, it's already over. Because 4 weeks is gonna go by like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's going to be just bittersweet.
Same
Now we
with
got to wait
half.
now we have another 2 years after these 4 weeks. So it would be nice to have enjoyed 2 months of Invincible at the same time, and just have
and there's
4 weeks.
So much more ahead.
Right, especially when
just recently finished the comics recently.
the last thing that we saw, if I'm not mistaken, correct me down in the comments below if I am, but in the mid-season finale or whatever, the Lizard King returned, right?
Yep, and he was very prominent in this episode.
And then boom, he's very prominent in this episode. So yeah, it would have been, and yeah, sure, they showed him in the recap or whatever, but it would have been nice to just go week to week and have that more fresh and
Good thing he wasn't
episode in your
fighting
mind.
Duplicate, Rexplode, and Shrieking Ray. He would have been killed like instantly.
Oh god! All right, we'll talk about that here in a minute.
Oh,
but
man.
overall thoughts: 9 out of 10.
Line
10
there,
out of 10.
his- His
9 out of
line
10.
there when he
Yeah,
was
this
just
great.
yum.
Yeah, this was great. I mean, it was a great pickup from. It picked up right where the last episode finished, with like Mark still on the the Thraxan planet, and his dad's new wife gives him
his baby half bro says, "Gotta go back."
Yeah,
to
who is
Earth.
purple for some reason. You think it could be blue, like the Thraxans, but I guess not. So he's just like, yeah. She's just like, I'm gonna die in like a day, so you better take him. I don't want like, yeah. So he leaves and goes back to college, and Amber's there, and
Yeah,
his
mom.
roommate.
He tells his mom.
Oh,
his
yeah.
mom's not happy.
And then he's
I
like,
don't
"Hey,
blame
well,
her.
you got to go back in space again."
I guess I'll take care of my
After he
ex-husband's
finally got
bastard
home.
child.
Who just
Although
treated
I
me
don't
as
think
a
he was.
pet.
Oh, he wasn't. Well, he wasn't a bastard. I think that he's married to that Thraxan woman. So
They know
I'll
who the
take
father is. They know who the
my
father is. They just hate him.
ex's other child with another woman, another insect, another pet. So
Speaking
yeah,
of
so she's gonna
pets,
take.
Donald confronts Cecil about being a
Oh, yeah.
robot.
Oh
or
yeah,
cyborg.
That was really good. And Cecil takes him to the
that'd be
white
crazy
room,
to find out.
right? And then he just like looks at the exoskeleton, and then later on he dreams about the exoskeleton like attacking him.
Do robots
stuff.
dream of
And
electric sheep?
she acted
Deep
pretty
stuff.
calm about him, just kind of just is just choking out, and then all of a sudden, yeah, hell, hey,
Oh, hey there. I'm here.
Yeah, it's like, we made you stronger, better, faster, and he's just like, I can't fuck anymore. I'm
He's
a
like,
robot.
why am I still pudgy? Why couldn't I be more ripped?
we made it
Yeah.
better,
I couldn't eat
stronger.
the cheekbones.
Why do I still have glasses?
I feel like
You
a Ken Doll
can.
kind
He
of
just
dick.
made it better, stronger.
Speaking
Or like-
of trying to be better and stronger, what about Shapeshift, the Martian?
Oh, yeah,
with
Shapeshift.
Guardians
Oh,
of the
yeah.
Globe. They're in the middle.
Apparently,
of,
it's his fault. The
How he
the
just
squidoid-
lays it all out.
It's all his fault. I love how they knew from the very beginning that he was a Martian, and then they just let him play along with it. He's like, guys, I have this confession
all of you
to
didn't
make.
know,
Yeah,
I'm a Martian from
or all
Mars.
of you already knew.
yeah. Everyone knew except that one guy.
Bulletproof.
Sure, I don't
Apparently,
remember.
he
One
used to
of
call his name Logic Proof.
Logic proof. Ah, got him. So the Guardians and Invincible split up. One group goes to fight off the alien invasion, while Rex, Duplicate, and Shrinking Ray stay back on Earth to.
Get killed.
Well, no,
Not Rex though.
They're not gonna get killed. Nothing's gonna happen. There can be two catastrophic events happening at the same time. Says Rex.
I mean, if Alan can survive the Viltrumites, I'm pretty sure Duplicate
was
can
kind of-
survive.
Rex is just the comedy of the series right,
Right.
now.
Dude, I want to see a freaking
I like
Komodo
it.
dragon versus Battle Beast fight. Like, they're both like kind of invincible. Oh, well, there we go.
dun,
I mean, they're
dun,
both-
dun, dun.
I mean, it seemed like Komodo Dragon was like sort of the MVP of this episode. He was just kind of
Dude,
just
Komodo
like,
Dragon was wild. I thought Shrinking Ray was just gonna get him for sure when he eats Shrinking Ray.
Yeah,
And
just had
then-
super
part I was
digestive
talking
property.
about.
And then Rex is like, "Hey, you dumbass, she grows too." And then like,
and you think the battle's over and she's about to bust out of there.
who animated that?
Like,
Because
oh,
that
man,
was
that
so
was-
gross and
that was
so
crazy.
good. Like how his body like ate her back down, and like I just imagine like crumbling her bones, her not shrinking down, but his body
Ooh.
just like growing over and like crushing her
Oh,
down.
I can only imagine what the hell happened in
and then-
there.
The animation was so good. And
And then his line of
Duplicate.
"yum,
yum, which is gonna bite him.
God.
Which is gonna bite him in the ass in a minute. But first, we gotta talk about Duplicate.
Oh, you
My
read-
girl,
yeah.
Duplicate.
oh yeah, she had a very violent death.
Oh,
allegedly.
dude. So
But also really.
that was so
can't
visceral.
duplicate anymore."
She was down
he's
to
holding the
she was
last
down to the
one.
one, and then the two pops out, and he thinks she's gonna get away, and he grabs
I
the
mean,
other
if
two, and
that's
he smacks them together, and they.
if that's a really risk, she should have like one of her like her original stuff like always in like away somewhere like in a base in case that happens.
Yeah, do you think that's a good idea?
Which is probably what happened. Yeah.
Do you think
So
there's a number 0, Kate?
yeah, I mean, there's like if that's a really a risk, she's like obviously not gonna like let that happen. You know, like worst case scenario, you should always have another Kate stored safely somewhere. So yeah, she's probably gonna survive.
What are you talking about?
And her character is not a white man, so like I'm pretty sure she's safe.
Okay, that's probably more accurate than anything else.
So
All right,
but
and
hey,
then
Donald didn't die.
let's talk about. Well, first let's talk about how Komodo dies, and then we'll just finish this off here. He bites Rex's hand, and his head explodes, which I thought was a little easy.
Gave up his hand for that.
He did give up his hand, but dude, Rex has the weakest powers. It looks like Rex throws exploding stuff. I've never seen him do any damage to anyone, any villain, any bad guy.
It usually
ever.
is just
He literally
background
kills Komodo
explosions for
dragon
the
and
battle.
iguana in like 2 seconds. It was a little anticlimactic.
Yeah,
he kind of killed them pretty easily. Like,
but, like,
wish you could have done that like 5 minutes ago.
How is Komodo dragon's internals so powerful and strong that it killed Shrinking Ray, but then his head exploded to Rex's tiny little poof explosion?
Because it was like a literal bomb, and the Shrinking Ray is just like a girl. I mean, that was my understanding.
Maybe I've
like,
seen too much of The Boys, but
speaking
I
of,
just
like,
know it
another
can happen
woman
when
who
something explodes in
transforms,
front of you, inside of you.
Monster Girl and Robot had some issues. Or issue this episode. She was like, "If you're gonna be this controlling,
Yeah,
after a first date, you're not gonna get another one."
Someone
At
needs
least he's like,
yeah, someone's got her on the feminist pill. Someone needs to get her off that real quick. Someone get this girl 10 cc's of Andrew Tate stat. I don't know if I'd recommend Andrew Tate to her.
and like this is definitely a fictional. This is definitely a fictional show because I'm pretty sure a girl would like break up with any guy who was that controlling after a first date. They would never even give him like a second chance.
Do you think he was really being controlling, though? I mean, he was really just looking out.
I think she was like in a shitty mood. So,
all right, let me ask you this: if you change your entire life, sacrifice your immortality to get a human body form, right, and you had to do all this, to become a boy, and then you had a crush on this girl, and then every time she turned into a superhero, she got one step closer to aging out of your dating range. You're going up, she's getting younger. There's going to be a time where the girl you like is 10 and you're 12, and that's no longer acceptable. So I can see where he might be thinking with his bottom brain, not his top brain, but I think he's got good intentions here. He's just looking out for her. It's like, damn, dude, every time you
long run there.
Every time you become a monster, you become younger. And she's like, oh, what she should have says, thanks for looking out for me, but I can handle this myself. Instead, she was like, fuck you, I can do this myself. And it's like, yeah, bitch, whatever. All right, let me know if you need something from the top shelf.
So let's talk about the Secret Invasion. They're kind of fucked when they get. Well, we talk about Adam and Eve being brought back into the fold by Rexplode. So I think there might be seeds planted there for them to get back together. To Invincible's chagrin.
If Invincible's not gonna leave Amber, then I guess that's what we're destined for.
Yeah. So he convinces her to go back to superheroics, and they get on the spaceship, and then like the Martian ship blows it up immediately. And luckily they're in a pink bubble, which if she can't hold it, most of those people are dead. Except for about Invincible.
Are dead. I love how they were like, "Oh, return fire," and they're like, "This is a NASA ship. Like, we don't have guns. This is a spaceship."
Amazing, like how the space travel technology is so primitive still in the Invincible universe.
I mean, Adam Eve could have put a pink bubble shield around the spaceship.
What all does
the
Pentagon have in this universe?
They had enough good writing in this episode, Major. They can't hit home runs in every scene.
Well, they've got to create. Yeah, you've got to move the plot along. You've got to get onto the ship somehow, and you've got to.
She sneezed and she couldn't concentrate, and then that's why she couldn't create a think bubble in 1 millisecond. It would have needed to too. But they go on to the what are the sequid? They're called the sequids.
Sequids.
The sequids. Okay, so they go on and
Sequids.
there's a lot of like bubble gum.
One
There's
of
like a lot
those.
of bubble gum tidal waves.
Yeah. So
Does it
pretty
take control of
menacing.
anyone?
Yeah,
I don't think it does. I don't
just
think
kind
anyone
of
gets taken
blend.
control of.
Not
Yeah,
this
does it?
episode.
I
But
don't know if they really blend all together like that, or there's just a mass of. Were they just more lazy with the animation there? I wonder.
I would imagine so. They just amassed all together. Yeah, instead of drawing it out individually.
Yeah. So
You sure your cat doesn't want to join the podcast?
Well, he keeps like smacking at me, and he's hitting a
he wants that meow mix.
escape and F1 key. Well,
Wow, it knows exactly what to press. Hilarious.
All F4,
Uh,
kitty. Go to all F4.
So yeah, so they're pretty much both these situations with Rex Splode and Invincible and the other
Cliffhanger.
team.
Oh, so we didn't.
Cliffhangers, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't mention it, but Rex gets his hand bitten off. Komodo dragon explodes.
Oh, we mentioned it, yeah.
And then he's on his hand. He's on his knees, grabbing his hand, and King Lizard pops up behind him and puts a gun to the back of his head. And then we cut away.
Like now it can be formidable because you're
Yeah, what a yeah, and then,
disabled.
yeah, he's like, oh, I'm such a pussy. Like, who's the smarter person, the guy who fights or the guy who waits till his enemy is fucking wounded, and then he just comes up and kills him super easy. You know what we call that in Halo? The garbage man, just coming after two people are
Garbage
fighting.
man, yeah.
Garbage king.
Just coming, boop boop boop, little pistol shot, done.
yeah. So
you were the
great,
king
very,
of the garbage. Man.
I was just so
back
late to the
then.
party. I just could not get to fight you guys fast enough. I'm just throwing grenades. Could not get there in time.
Yeah. Oh well, you could have been sniping us. Well, before we kill each other. So
Yeah.
the after credit
The good old
scene
days.
featured Alan
Alan,
and who's the bearded guy who wasn't really bearded.
a Viltrumite.
What's his name?
Oh.
Thetis.
Sure.
I
didn't
thought
check
the.
the
I
X-ray.
mean, I understand the
What was
beard
that?
pool.
Optimus
I
Prime?
understand.
Viltrumite pool or something. Well, I forgot what they called it. They had a term for it.
I don't know, but he pulled his beard off. I was like, can't you just grow a beard? I mean, I guess I know that I did it for dramatic effect, but I'm pretty sure Viltrumites can actually grow beards.
Dun,
They just
dun,
choose to have
dun.
mustaches.
Pretty
Wouldn't that be
solid.
funny if that was like something they couldn't do though? It's like we can conquer all the planets in the galaxy.
We can't grow facial hair
We
beyond their
can't.
upper lip.
Yeah,
You
it's
better not
just
shave
up
that
here.
mustache.
Yeah, I mean, I understand they did it for dramatic effect. But I'm just like, come on, man. He can grow a beard. He's been wearing an itchy fake beard for like 30
All
years.
this time. What if it wasn't fake? What if
It
Viltrumites
wasn't
were
a.
so
it
badass?
wasn't
he
a,
ripped
it wasn't
off?
a fake beard.
He's just like
That's
really
actually
good at ripping.
that's actually like a custom of theirs to be able to rip the beard off with like no reaction.
Is that
It
a-
In every
shows-
hair?
it's actually in
Pretty
the
sure there's some
comic.
blood. Oh, okay.
It's in the comic that's. what
Oh,
it
so
is.
I was joking about that. I was like, what if it wasn't the fake beard? What if he's just such
It's
a
actually a
badass?
custom of theirs to prove they're a Viltrumite with like. No
Which
reaction.
would explain how Alan instantly knew that
Why-
he was a Viltrumite.
Yeah, he knew
So I was like,
that.
wait. I was like, how would a facial reveal? Like, oh, he doesn't have a beard.
Because
he must
there's
be
a part in the
Viltrumite.
comic
Mustache.
book that
Ah.
Nolan brings it up.
I like that
To, oh wait, well that's
in the future, but
when they
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
that's nice for the
A little
for the writers to
little info
reward
there.
to reward the comic books and for our listeners to be rewarded for listening to the podcast. So thanks, we appreciate it so much, guys.
Yeah, so these were both. This was a great episode, and Halo was not as bad as previous episodes.
Yeah,
so
hey, final episode
win-win.
coming out, and then we never
Ish.
have to talk about it again. But dude, next week's episode on the
Has-
podcast is gonna be
X-Men
wild.
97, yeah.
X-Men 97, Halo season 2 finale, and then we're really getting the ball
Invincible.
rolling with these two cliffhangers here on Invincible.
Only 3 episodes left, sadly, but we're gonna try to enjoy them. Try to space them out. Yeah. So, has Halo been renewed for season 3 yet, or is that still like up in the air? Because they renewed it for season 2 before season 1 even finished. So, I guess there's no news about that yet. We'll see.
No,
I know Star Trek Discovery is about to
still
go off the air.
unsure.
Star Trek Discovery is like one more season, and then I mean, I guess Paramount Plus needs like content, so I would not be surprised if they do renew it for season 3. But
How could they not? I mean, season 1 was so bad, and they instantly renewed it for season 2.
well, they're gonna renew like 14 new Yellowstone spinoffs or prequels. Because it's basically like
Redstone,
Yellowstone is
Bluestone,
Paramount.
Greystone.
By the power of Greystone. It's like Caveman Times, but Kevin Costner, or I don't know. I haven't watched any of those shows. There's like 3 of them, right? There's like one in the West, there's like one in the 20s, and there's one like in present day. So it's basically like conservative Sopranos, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Paramount Plus needs content, so we'll
Well,
see. But
this will be the only way I stay subscribed to that trash app that I can't even watch on my own Sony OLED television.
well, I won't have to. I won't have to renew for April. I'll probably forget though, and still have it.
I'll remind
renew.
you. Tell us in the comments. Remind
Yeah, let me
Forrest
know.
in the comments.
Let me know on March 30th before I make a terrible mistake, or before like they charge my card. Because I had to get Disney Plus just to watch X-Men '97, which is coming out tomorrow. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. That's our show. You want to plug our social media, Mage?
Yeah, absolutely,
Please.
guys. If you haven't already, we are now on Instagram. You can find us on Zeitgeist Zealots. And let's see, TikTok is Zeitgeist Zealots. On X, we are Z Zealots Podcast. And then, of course,
Catch us on
YouTube.
TikTok while you still can.
Yeah, catch us on TikTok while you still can. And guys, the response on TikTok has been absolutely incredible, incredibly bad. Like, I'm talking
No one likes
0,
us.
1 view. So I will post the same short on Instagram and TikTok within minutes of
just
each
like my
one.
Kickstarter.
Yeah, and then I'll get 1,000 views on Instagram and 0 views on TikTok. And I think the moral of the story is, if you spend years talking shit about China online, they will find you, they will tag your IP, and they will associate that with your TikTok account. So I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you have a successful TikTok, and do you talk mad shit about the CCP? I would be very interested to find out if this is just a little tinfoil theory, or if I really do have that flag with the algorithm. Because, I mean, that makes sense. Hey. Instead of listening to everything Zeitgeist says, why don't you just, in the algorithm, just downvote anything this guy has to say in case he says anything bad about the
Conspiracy
CCP.
theorist is just someone with all the facts.
Conspiracy facts, that's why we're here.
All right.
In fact, I had a really good conspiracy theory when we talked about Halsey kidnapping kids with the Nazis and UFOs in Roswell, but maybe we'll get into that in a different episode.
We'll make a clip of that. But yeah, that's our show. Thanks for listening. I'm Forrest.
I'm Major.
I'm Robbie.
Bye, everyone.
Have a great listen.
See you next time.